All right, let's go ahead and get started with our B problems for Unit 3 test review. Okay, so the first question says write the equation in slope-intercept form. So remember, you can refer to your formula sheet if you forgot that formula. And what it is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I need two things to write an equation in slope-intercept form. That's my slope, which is m, and my y-intercept. So all I have to do is look at the graph and just kind of identify these things. The easiest one is going to be our y-intercept because it's literally just where it crosses the y-axis. And that's going to be at -4. So I'm going to write that my b is equal to -4. And for my slope, I need 2 points. So I have my y-intercept, and now I'm going to pick another point. Make sure you're picking a point that's right at an intersection point. And then I'm just going to count my rise over run. So I'm going up 1, and I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is going to be 1/5. So then from here, I'm just going to plug in everything in the equation where it goes. So my final answer is going to be y equals 1/5 x minus 4. Okay. Also keep in mind, you can type this in the calculator and check to see if your answer is correct. If you type it in on a graph, it should be the same thing. All right, number 2b, we have an inequality here. It says which points are solutions. So one thing that we know about solutions is that they are in the shaded area. So that's the key thing that you want to remember. So all I need to do is plot these points and see if they fall in the shaded area or not. Now, one thing we also notice is that we have a solid line. So those points that fall on the solid line will also be included in our solution set. So I have 3, 0, which is here. So it falls right on that solid line. So it's equal to, so that's going to be one of my solutions. I have 1, 6. It's in the shaded area, so it's a solution. Then let's go to -4, 2, which is here. So we see that that's not in the shaded area, so I'm going to cross that out. And we have 3, 5, which that's in the shaded area, so that is your a solution there. So you have 3 solutions for this problem. Now it wants us to write out our inequality. So we're going to stick with slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. The only thing that's going to be different is instead of having my equal sign, I'm going to have my inequality sign. So I still want to do that same thing as number 1. I want to find my slope and my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is crossing at +4, so b equals 4. And then I'm going to pick another point. Let's pick this one here. And I'm going to count my rise over run. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going over 1, 2, 3. Also keep in mind, I'm looking at this line here, and this line is negative. So make sure you include the negative on your slope. So my slope is -4/3. And now I'm ready to write my inequality. So I'm going to have y, and then I'm going to skip some space because I want to think about what sign is going to go there. So I'm going to have y, then I'm going to have -4/3x plus 4. Now with my sign, I see that I have my graph shaded above, and it's a solid line, so that's going to be greater than or equal to. And that's my final answer. All right, so for my next one, it said which equations have a slope of 1/4? Circle all that apply. So keep in mind, this could have more than one answer, okay? So you kind of just want to peep and see what forms are these equations in. So this equation here is in slope-intercept form. This equation here is in standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. And this equation here is in point slope form. So two things that's interesting about slope-intercept form and point-slope form is they already give us our slope. Okay, that slope is m. In slope-intercept form, it's going to be right before the x. And in point-slope form, it's going to be right after the before the parentheses and after the equal sign. Okay, so if I want a slope of 1/4, so far I can pick option 1 because it has a slope of 1/4 right before that x. Equation 3, I can go ahead and cross that out because that slope is 4 and that's not what we're looking for. So equation 2, it's a little different because this is in standard form. So when it's in standard form, you have to make sure you simplify it first and put it in slope-intercept form. If you don't do that, you won't know what your slope is. So I'm going to write that out, and I'm going to just solve this out for y. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I'm going to bring down -4y equals -12 minus x. Then I'm going to divide both sides by -4. My -4 cancel out on this side. So I have y equals -12 divided by -4 is going to be +3. And then I have -x divided by -4. That's going to be plus 1/4 x. So now that it's in slope-intercept form, I know that the slope is my coefficient before my x, which is 1/4. So I can also say that option 2 is part of my answer. So my answer here is equation 1 and equation 2. All right, 4B. Amy is selling bracelets for $2 and necklaces for $16. She needs to make at least $290 in profit. Write the inequality that represents the inequality if X is the number of bracelets and Y is the number of necklaces sold. Okay, so you want to go through this problem and identify some key information. So she's selling bracelets for $2. So each bracelet she buys is going to be multiplied by 2. Or each bracelet that she sells, she's going to be getting $2 each per the profit. Then it says and, so we know and is going to be plus. Necklaces are $16 and she needs to make at least $290. One thing in this question or this statement here, they're telling me what I want to use for my variable. So X has to be the number of bracelets and Y has to be the number of necklaces. So if I know that, when I annotate this problem, I'm looking at bracelets for $2, that's going to be 2X. We already said and was plus, and then we have $16 for the necklaces, which is Y. And then it says at least. So let's talk about that at least. If I say I want at least something, that means I want either that amount or I want more. Okay, so that sign for at least is going to be greater than or equal to. Okay, so now I'm just going to put everything together and my answer is going to be 2X plus 16Y is greater than or equal to 290. And that's it. All right. Next one says graph the equation and determine the zero. So keyword here, you want to make sure that you know that a 0 is just an x-intercept. Okay, that's the key part in getting that question correct. Also, you know, when you have an x-intercept, that y is going to be 0. So one thing you can do, you can set your equation to equal 0 for y and then solve for x. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have that my 0 is equal to -1/4x minus 4. I'm going to add 1/4 x to both sides. So I will have 1/4 x equals -4. Then I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. And then my answer will be x equals -16, which written as a point is going to be -16, 0. So this is my x-intercept or my 0. Remember 0, you only need that x coordinate. Now when I graph it, we know that our slope is negative 1/4. Our y-intercept is negative 4. So I'm going to start at negative 4, which is here. And I'm going to go down 1/4 each time. So down 1/4. And then I have some points I can still put on my left side. So I'm going to do the opposite and go up 1/4 each time. Okay, and that's all that can fit on this graph. Now notice I cannot see my x-intercept on this graph. We just found it out algebraically, so this may be a problem that you want to take some time to solve it out. Okay, you can also type this in a calculator and trace using menu 5-1. And then from there, you just go to the x-axis and your x-intercept will pop up. All right. 6B, you have a $30 gift card to Bahama Bucks. Each drink costs $2. Write an equation in slope-intercept form where D represents the number of drinks and R represents the amount remaining on the gift card. Okay, so this $30, this represents our starting point. We also know that a starting point is our y-intercept. So I'm just going to label this part as B. Then it says each drink costs $2. So each drink that we buy, we're going to be taking it away from this $30 gift card. So that's going to be our slope. They're telling me I want slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. However, they are telling me that I need to use D for a number of drinks and R for the amount that's remaining. So my equation will be equal to $30. Then each time I'm taking away $2 for each drink, which is D. And after I do that, that will tell me the amount that's remaining on my gift card. So that is my equation in slope-intercept form. All right. This one here says find the rate of change or slope of the graph. Notice that those are the same thing. So here I have a vertical line. Anytime you have a vertical line, that slope is automatically going to be undefined. Okay. If you remember doing your slope man, you know, and I could just draw a quick picture here. This is positive, this is negative, undefined, and 0. So that's this part right here that helps us remember that. And then also, my equation, and this is just if they ask, my equation is going to be x equals -3 because it's -3 on this line. All right. The next one, I'm going to find the equation given a table. So I want to find my slope. You find a slope by picking 2 points. Notice that this table is horizontal. Some people get confused with that. So if you want to write it out vertically, you can. So I have 7, 0, and 14, 3. This is going to be my x1, y1, x2, y2. So I have 3 minus 0 and 14 minus 7. So notice all this went here. And all of this went here. And I'm just going to subtract. And my slope is going to be 3/7. So I'm just going to write on this line m equal 3/7. Okay. Then to find my y-intercept, we could use point slope form, or we notice here that this point is actually your y-intercept given on a table. I know that because my x is 0, and anytime x is 0, that's a y-intercept. So I'm going to go ahead and write that b is equal to -3. And then my equation in slope-intercept form will be y equals 7/3x minus 3. Okay. Also keep in mind, you can type this in a calculator to check it and do Control T to see if your table matches. Okay. Or you can do menu 5-1. Those two worked out the same way.